forward, everybody, to This Is Difficult, proving our point in the intro right here. I am Lord Yeshua, your host. My name is Josh. We have Colin over here. That's 4Gs. And whichever direction over here, we have Paul Ryugami-san. We're on his channel. I got it right. Wow. I just pointed randomly.
Time.
Super good. You got Adam on the milk carton. It's good to see. He was on the milk carton for a split second and then it disappeared. Oh, the old scene. Yeah. Whoever's not there for the week, we put him on a milk carton. Anyway, but welcome to This Is Difficult, the podcast where we talk about video games and video game related stuff. And here we're going to be talking about video games today. So you came at the right time if that was the subject you wish to hear about. We will be talking about, I don't even fucking know. Paul, take over.
I built a NAS this weekend.
Yes. I always forget how to do that.
Yeah, I built a NAS this weekend. A NAS is a network attached storage.
What?
I'm excited about my NAS.
Yeah, he's got sweet NAS.
I'm quitting the podcast. Yay! No, I'm going to be stepping down.
As of
in
literally
like 2
5 minutes
months,
ago.
somewhere I'll be here to the end of the year. So.
To the end of the year, you think? So we're probably gonna get a good like 7 more weeks out of you.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna show up the last week. You know who shows up?
Who shows up? It's probably Michael Scott.
Here.
Oh my God, your mom is here. My mom is here.
Yeah.
Oh hi, hey Barbara Ann 360. Hi, Lord Yeshua.
That made me jealous.
I was like, where? Oh God, she's walking in. I mean, that's not my mom. Damn it! Why'd you give that away? I wonder if we should have a contest or just interviews, live interviews. Maybe we could do like a month where like each week is a different host, or like we do like several months of that until like people decide and do a polling system. Maybe, I don't know. I think me and Paul pretty much have ideas on who we're considering already, but it would be nice to have more options as well, I think. Yeah.
New news.
Yes. What did we do, guys?
What?
No one's sound is on. Are you kidding me? Is it just your mic?
Oh, we have sound.
I was about to say, if that whole thing was unmiked, I was going to laugh.
That's why she asked, "Where's your co-host?" Because she couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
She's looking out for us. That's really sweet. Your mom's sweet.
Talking about my significant other. Hear you. Oh, my mom. I mean, Barbara Ann 360, a random person in the chat.
Test.
You,
there we go.
Saying they hear you.
Okay. They do hear me? Bizarre. All right. It's in here now.
Okay, we're all in here. We got you.
All right.
So let's talk about the games we play. Oh, real quick though, Colin is stepping down from streaming, but we will be streaming together. Something we are still doing is running the mod channel, and so mostly Colin. And so you're looking at me like I'm saying something suspicious. Like he looks like a Nazgul, like running away. Okay, so you'll be seeing a lot of co-op stuff. Banjo-Tooie, right? Can I announce this?
Yeah, we're doing Banjo-Tooie. Hopefully tomorrow.
It's probably going to be tomorrow. I just don't want to promise tomorrow, but we will be the first people. I don't want to say it out loud.
Solo run.
Now for Colin's solo run, Banjo Solely.
Yeah. Dude, I'm curious how much of that got lost in translation with my mic off. God damn. All right. So to recap everything, Colin's leaving the show. We're bringing on new hosts. We may audition people. Colin's going to be doing a lot of background stuff, working on his own things. And he'll still show up doing co-op stuff with us every now and again.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Now let's talk about video games and other things.
This week, guys?
What did we do this week?
Someone else go first. I actually have a lot.
I built a NAS over the week, which is really cool. It's basically a network attached storage. And what it does is it lets me, I have like 6 drives in this one computer.
Yes, that's
and
crazy.
they're all 4 terabytes. So I have around with a RAID, I have around like 14 terabytes of storage basically
Jesus.
that's attached to my computer through the Ethernet cable. And so I basically have like a 14 terabyte hard drive on my computer that's rated. So up to 2 drives can fail, and I still have my access to my
Absolutely insane.
my stuff basically. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really
That's
good for
rad.
video editing because now I can like store 4K footage and edit off
Yeah.
of my NAS without having to worry about filling up my actual computer. So that's kind of cool. That's something I did over the week.
Very
Wow, that's
cool.
crazy. Moving
Did
all
you,
your
did you
setup
play
is
any
gonna be
video
a
games or
hassle.
no? No gaming?
I mean, a little bit of Phaz.
Didn't we play anything? Oh, we played
I played
Phasmophobia, and I
Phasmophobia.
cried like a little girl.
That
No.
was fun. You didn't
was
actually
really
cry as much as I
fun.
thought you were going to. I thought you were
I
crying
think
more.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I did not think it was as scary as Visage, but only because it was more interactive. Like it kind of like some of it was more like VR-y, where like you can see the hands and like the book and like everything's like kind of felt less like purely fear-based, where like everything is actually happening and like me interacting with the setting kind of made it less scary, I think, to me.
Right.
But that being said, it was really scary at certain points. Like the very last one we did when we were stuck in the room and we couldn't make the shit go off. And I was like, this is fucking insane.
You're
So-
like, I'm dead.
Yeah, it was really scary. But so I would say I love Phasmophobia. That was a great game.
I liked it. I would like to play it again. Colin and I played a couple rounds a couple
was
weeks
fun.
ago, and it was
I'd like to
fun.
play again. All
We
of us.
we kind of got skunked.
We did.
Both
A bunch of
rounds.
demons in a row.
So,
Yeah.
so
We got
so
three
yeah,
demons in a
I'd
row.
like to be successful in that game at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
It wasn't a good first round.
Colin was very cautious that we actually won, which was nice. You were being like very like, okay, I'm actually in the van right now. So you go ahead. And I'm like, oh shit. It's like he made sure to actually make it out, so we actually did win, which was cool. So I died. I think I only died twice, maybe 3
Yeah.
times. tops, But like I had like 6 or 7 games. So I definitely want to play that again. Thank you.
Yeah, we should.
Really bad. Yeah, definitely amazing. I definitely recommend that game. It's $14 on Steam.
Yeah.
Really good. That's pretty fun.
I played some more of the Legends mode in Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm still absolutely loving. Freaking fantastic. And then I played a little tiny bit, not as much as I would have liked to, but we're gonna cover it some more. I'm actually pretty excited about the review tonight.
Me
So I
too.
played a little bit of the new Pokemon expansion
Whoa.
for Sword and Shield. So
You know what's really funny about that is my buddy texted me and he was like, the new expansion came out. And I was like, I don't want to have to like buy that. And then I look at it and it just started downloading. I was like, oh my God, I already bought that. Like,
Yeah,
5
when you buy
months
the
ago.
pass,
I forgot
yeah.
if I bought that
Yeah.
already. I guess I'm playing it.
yeah,
So that was kind of neat that they force it in both packs or
yeah, for sure.
I didn't even think I could have bought one at a time at the time. It was like only the pack when I bought it pre-order. It was like, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just stoned. No, I'm just kidding.
Could have been.
Could have been. That's all
Could
you
be the
played?
case.
Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, Ghost of
You like you really enjoyed that. It's
Tsushima.
co-op too,
Yeah,
right?
I need to
Yeah.
play that.
Well, and that's what's so great about it is the co-op. Like the single player is amazing. Like it's absolutely a fantastic game in and of itself. But then the co-op just brings it to a whole nother level. I don't want to like go on and on about that because we talked about it a lot last week. But definitely worth checking out. If you have a PlayStation, it is the best game on PlayStation right now. Like
It's a really good reason.
you
to
can
own
quote
one.
me on that.
It's
Yeah.
high praise.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a reason to has one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
you-
Josh, what'd you play this week, homie?
So Phasmophobia with Colin was a really good experience. We played that earlier in the week. Really fun co-op game. I recommend just getting it if you like, I'm trying to decide on what type of game you would have to like. It's kind of like, I don't want to just say it's like another game, but it's like if you like Left 4 Dead, if you like I just had it. Like another like what's the one you play all the time? Dead by Daylight. And like if you like games like this,
Like survival horror stuff.
survival, yeah. It's kind of like you and your buddies create your own horror experience, which is really awesome in this kind of haunted setting. And
Mhm.
I just think it's a really cool new way to play. Like this type of game hasn't existed yet, where it's like, is it a shooter? Is it like it's like you scary thing? Like you literally like do like exorcisms and like not exorcisms, but like seances like type things and like
Yeah.
you know,
Well, it's like
investigate
if you've
stuff
ever
and all that.
watched
It's really cool.
what is
yeah.
it, Ghost Adventures,
Ghost
which-
Hunters, Ghost Adventures, yeah.
Ghost Hunter Adventures,
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's
That
basically
show's
that.
still on,
It's
by the
that.
way.
Yeah.
They
No,
still
They're
make that show.
masters. What
Yeah.
someone the other day was like they're master storytellers. you
Yeah.
know, they can
Oh,
make
yeah.
nothing seem really interesting
Yeah, yeah.
because it is that. It's nothing.
Yeah.
So there was that. That game is it's really fun though. I love it.
So you get to role play as them is
You get to
basically
role
what
play
it
as
is.
them, yeah. And a
Exactly.
lot of times nothing would happen, or like barely something would happen, and I'd be like, wow, it's just like so incrementally like bringing the story to life, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend that. It's up to 4 players online and is in VR, and I can't imagine how scary this is in VR. So yeah, I think that's probably a no for me if I had a VR, because that is very scary and regular. So
yeah.
I can't even imagine. But I think it would probably be the quintessential version. If you want the best experience, I'd probably say get the VR, but also scary. I always playing Mario. Lots of Mario 35, raking in them wins. You know your boy. And I've been just getting really good at that. And lots of sunshine, a lot of sunshine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and actually just got Celeste on the Switch. So I brought Celeste over to the Switch, so I don't have to play it on the PC all the time. And so I think actually I'm gonna just go ahead on a limb here, and judging by how good and responsive the Pro controller is, and like I don't know, maybe I have less like buffering on my Switch. I really don't understand, but it feels like the quintessential version of Celeste to me. Feels like the controls are smooth as fuck, and there's no interruption.
I got a question for you.
Yes, bring it.
Do you play on your TV? Do you use your TV as a monitor?
I play on my TV when I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you probably have a slight delay because the refresh on your TV probably isn't as high as it would be if you were using a gaming monitor. So that's probably what you're experiencing is just higher refresh when you're playing on the Switch.
Interesting. A higher refresh. This does make sense. Yeah. I was noticing my inputs weren't always lining up with the PS4. Maybe it was just the PS4 controller, but it felt like it could have been that, but it felt like my inputs I was like missing a lot. And I just ran through the first 2 worlds really quick. And I think I could speed run this game now, actually, like seeing how smooth it actually is. I think I might try to Cuphead this, which is my term for get really good at it really fast and just start speedrunning it for fun. Nice. It seems like it could be next game. But I think that if you don't have this game for the Switch, I would recommend getting that as well. It's just one of the best platformers ever made, period. And what else? And then, of course, I played Crown Tundra, which will be the game that I will be reviewing, or the part of a game that I will be reviewing. I will say this DLC kind of adds enough to make it basically a game in its own right, sort of. Yeah. But so we can get into
that's
that.
How I felt about Ghost of Tsushima. That's why I did the Legends review. So I think that's fair. Do you want to jump into that now?
Let's jump into it. Fuck it.
Let's jump into it. All right, give me 2 seconds to turn on the background gameplay.
The reviewy dilly, or should I just wing it?
No, we'll get to the review dilly.
Yeah.
We get the review dilly.
Go ahead and pull that up. I got the background gameplay on in the background.
Is there where's the bleep again? I forgot. Someone.
It should be pinned in the Discord.
Pin. No one posted it while we were talking.
I can post it.
Jeez
Louise.
I know, but I have to scroll through the whole thing.
Yeah, here, I'll post it.
No, it's pinned. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
I don't see it. It's in the middle of the docs.
No, oh shoot, I put it in the wrong spot. I put it in the
you don't even know how to work stuff.
Definitely deleting that.
Here it is. Podcast notes. Yes, I'm having fun with it. Wait, there's more. Doom 64. Is that what I was supposed to do? Oh man, I'm gonna do that next week or whenever.
I think maybe you picked that.
Ah, fuck me.
At some point.
I totally forgot to do that. I would have loved that.
Yeah, we can do that another time.
Definitely. Okay, where do I start? Type of question.
So we're doing the review of the Pokemon expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Tundra.
And I cannot find where this is. Okay, here we go.
That's where we're starting.
Okay, ready right now. Okay, game I am playing. Thanks, guys, bearing with me. All right, the title of the game. So it's Pokemon Sword or Shield, and this expansion is called Crown Tundra. It is a dual pack with the Isle of Armor. If you got that pack, you probably already have this DLC because it's like a $30 bundle. Basically, essentially is another expansion to the game, and that is adding more Pokemon. It is updating the competitive season, and it is adding more stories to generalize it. So let's see what else we got. First impressions. I'm gonna be honest, these DLCs, I don't really know what to think, because personally, I wouldn't mind just getting like perfect 5 EV IV Mons just dumped into my box and then being like, thanks for the DLC. Here's just all the Pokemon with it. They're all perfect. You're done. And I would probably be like, that's fine. But like, there's also story and all these other things associated with it. So I never really know how to grade it based on those, because again, I am more of a competitive player. So to me, it's a lot more just like, what does this offer the competitive scene is kind of my thing. I'm really trying to like read this and look at us at the same time. And And then see here, where are we? Am I having fun with it so far? Yes, I'm having fun. And again, I am. This is literally like, I think a casual perspective would be, yes, this is super fun nonstop, and it's a new story and really amazing. But for someone who, again, is kind of bored with catching the Pokemon, because I literally am just creating them using a bot online now. And that's like a thing you can do. It's insane. Literally just creating
Josh
them so I
admits
can.
to cheating on the podcast.
Yeah, but literally everyone is doing that. And also, when you enter a VCG tournament, they use Showdown, Pokemon Showdown. You literally just type in the stats. There's no like collecting or anything.
Right.
So Showdown is just, so that's where all the tournaments take place. So in my opinion, it's kind of like whatever. I know raising them is so much more like personal, but
Yeah.
at this point, I'm kind of in the competitive.
As far as the competitive scene is concerned, like if you want balance in the game, it only makes sense to be able to curate those Pokemon like
Agreed.
that, you know.
I agree. Yes, and that's the thing. That's where the competitive players do stand out, and why ranked mode does exist and casual mode exists. So you don't have to do that. Ranked is pretty awesome, though. I will say something that came with this, aside from injecting a bunch of new Pokemon in and legalizing a lot of legendaries online. So the big thing here is they're introducing a ton of new legendaries, where there are very few before. There are now a ton of new ones, old ones, and Galarian forms of old ones. So we're getting a lot of new as far as typing and balancing in the meta. That's all legal. Like Terrakion and all of those semi-legendaries are legal in the meta, which is pretty intense. And it's changing things up a lot. That being said, they also introduced this new thing. This is the first time they ever did this. Now, whenever a new season comes out, and this has started as of the last season, they are going to be banning the top Pokemon in the next season. The top meta Pokemon are going to be banned. So they already did this, and they banned a lot like Mimikyu and a few others that, to me, it shot 2 off my team, because I run Porygon 2 and Mimikyu. So literally cut off 2 out of 6 of my entire team, and that happened to so many other people. But their opinion is that, like, if everyone's just going to keep using the best in the meta and they aren't going to be taken down by anything new that's being put in, why don't they just ban the top 15 to 20 best Pokemon, and then the next meta is that much more refreshed? And they literally banned 16 of the top ones. And to me, that's pretty impressive. And who knows if they're going to stay banned, but I think it's really cool that they're trying to keep the competitive scene fresh, because I do imagine if you're on top for so long, it's like, or you're trying to get to the top and you just keep getting shit on by the same things, that just like feels really lame to never have the meta ever be switched up like before your eyes. And now you can like run legendaries and still get taken down by like some bullshit, just because everything is more balanced type wise. And I don't know. So that's pretty interesting. Similar games or types. It's literally an RPG. Have you ever played Pokemon, motherfuckers? Like, come on. It's literally an RPG. As I was explaining to Lady Yeshua previously, though, Pokemon offers so much. So basically, if you already have Sword and Shield, you already have the main story and all of the things and all the mechanics and whatnot. The Isle of Armor added a little bit of story and more Pokemon, and now you're getting even more of that. So it's really like for casual and for competitive. I think the competitive scene is really where it's at right now. If you want to play casually, yeah, run around this awesome new island. It's huge. It has a lot of different types of Pokemons and settings. So if you really want to run around and catch, there's all different types of new trainers and difficulties and ranges and obstacles and things to do, and a really long new story. So that's really fun. I personally didn't even finish the Isle of Armor story. It's because I really just didn't care as much. I loved it, but like I was like, like, what am I going to do? I already have, like, they're going to give me one legendary and the IVs are going to be poop. So as a competitive player, like, stuff like this is harder for me to get a grip on. That being said, I do find it to be cool for casual players as well. Why I like it, why I don't like it. Okay, so why I like it, it just adds more and mixes up the current meta and gives more to people that didn't get as much as they wanted previously. That's great. Everyone gets more what they wanted. I get more things to use in the meta. It mixes everything up. So competitive is more varied for people that can't break in normally, and casual is just more. There's just more to do casually. Now your 80-hour game is a 140-hour game, so it's just like the Ghost principle. Like if you like to shop at the stores but you already got the best outfits, it's lame, but now it's like there's more of that shit. So like it's for everybody. What I don't like about the game is pretty much just that. I know that it's kind of lame to say, but I love the franchise and whatnot, and having been kind of become more of a competitive player as of Y and X version, it now seems like a lot of like aesthetic enhancements and like a lot of Pokemon, even just making new Pokemon. It's like almost all aesthetic enhancements to the game, where to me, it's like the gameplay itself is so core and amazing, but it is like kind of coated with this like cartoony alien-esque anime thing. It's like that's just what Pokemon is. We never are going to escape the fact that it is a child's game. you know, and has all these casual factors to it. And to me, I don't know. I just want like an M-rated Pokemon. I don't know how to explain it, but like to me, all the fluff is kind of what isn't needed, and the stuff that I did like was the crucial, you know, the grit, the stuff that like really added to the concept and the gameplay of it. Which you know, getting new clothing and new town isn't like really adding into anything like that, but there is something to it.
So here's a question that I have. Sorry to break this up.
No, bring it.
But I'm curious, like, because this is an expansion, we've talked about it before. The expansions are new to Pokemon. Before, you would come out with the 2 versions, and then there'd be a 3rd version. And so I don't believe there's going to be a 3rd version, you know, of Sword and Shield. And so in lieu of that, they did these 2 expansions. Do you feel like these 2 expansions fill that void of that 3rd game, or would you rather them go back to that other?
My mind kind of has a thought on both, whereas I do think this satisfies the 3rd game need, whereas everyone that had Sword and Shield, oh, real quick, they also added a co-op part to this, which I'll elaborate on more, but now you can basically play with people from the other game too, in a way. So it's like kind of connecting the 2 games. Basically all that to say, I don't think a 3rd is needed because the games are kind of melding together with having the same DLC, and you're not really missing out on anything because the trading is so easy and like everything's so easy. It doesn't really matter which version you have, aside from literally your legendary at the end of the main story. So and like very few others that you catch normally, which again, just say I want this and, you know, trade it or whatever. And there's discords that you can just ask for Pokemon these days and like all that. So it's a huge thing. That being said, Nintendo does this shit, and Nintendo, I think, is smart. I hate to say it's kind of a missed opportunity not to release a Sword Shield Pokemon Helm. With Pokemon, I had to think about it. Pokemon Helm with all the DLC included, an extra additional storyline that you can only get with this game. Maybe you release it as a paid DLC for the other games, but like has all the DLC, Isle of Armor, all the Pokemon from both games, and it's all of it in one. You get both storylines, both legendaries, everything in one package. I kind of think that's something they should do only from a marketing perspective. I kind of think it's something they don't need to do from a game perspective, but it kind of seems like in the next year or two, we'll probably get
I could totally see them doing
bodysuit, like Speedo, Pokemon Speedo.
Pokemon Speedo.
Yeah. Pokemon Codpiece.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But overall, so here, where are we? End title, what is available, how much? So it is $30 if you want both packs, Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. I recommend if you have a vibe for this DLC, just get the whole thing, so you can really get the full feel of it. Buying it on its own will be $20, although I don't think it's a big deal. Spending $10 more gets you that much bigger of an expansion with Isle of Armor. I say go for it. Yeah. I think it is worth that price tag. I will say it does, like the equivalent of both packs does add about an entire game's worth of gameplay and story. One pack is pretty much worth the $20 price tag, but both for $30 is like basically doubling the size of the game, I would say. And like the grid of Pokemon to use and like competitive scene local, everything gets like quality of life enhancements out the ass. It's great. Also, there's like someone who I found in the new DLC that you trade them like these minerals that you only get in the DLC. You can get all these extremely rare items and like things that you normally have to grind for in the main game. So not only is it like easier to do all this stuff and catch all these things, but now there's also ways to like cultivate these rare items easier too. So it's just a ton of quality of life enhancement. Let's see, end title. So end with the title. Oh, by the way, this was Pokemon. And it's only on the Switch, $20. And I would say if I had to rate it, because it's kind of what we do here, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Because 8.4, yeah, 8.5 even. Just because there's nothing ostensibly wrong with this enhancement. Again, Pokemon doesn't normally do these enhancements. They'll normally make you buy another game. So there's not really anything wrong with this. You don't have to buy this at all. And it doesn't kill you not to have it. And you can still play online and all that stuff. But it does increase the quality of the game. So I would say it is worth it. But that being said, it's not like breaking any things. It adds some co-op, which is really cool. And again, the co-op isn't like truly co-op. So it's kind of just a mode. So I don't think it's like really a 10 out of 10. Doesn't break the mold, doesn't do anything insane, but does add a lot of quality and life enhancements. So 8.5 seems fair. Yeah, buy it if you like Pokemon. And if you just like it casually, I don't know if you would buy it. If I'm being honest, it's like, whatever. But definitely worth buying, I think.
Nice. So the final question I have is a lot of people when Pokemon Sword and Shield first came out, they were very not receptive to
Uh-huh.
the amount of content and what they did with the release. Do you think that with these two expansions that have come out since then,
That's
that
a
this
great
is
question.
a complete game and that it puts it on the level of some of the other previous like best Pokemon games or you know
That is a very good question. For me personally, I think it's already above and beyond just because I didn't ask for too much from these games. And I'm like,
mhm,
400 Pokemon, fine. We have like 600 now, 500 to 600. So it's quite a lot. We're not at the 1,000 mark. But that being said, I know this is kind of lame to say, and I normally would say, sure, this is enough, but I do think the hardcores that complained at the beginning are still not satisfied because they're not given everything they've ever had. And that's the
right.
thing. It's not like this doesn't have all the quality of life that we love, and it does have a lot of things from all those games, but it is not everything, and it's not everyone from all those games. You know what I mean? Like your guy still isn't in it. Like, oh, he was my guy on my team. Like he's still not in. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and that being said, there's still like ban lists now, and they're rotating people out of the ban list. They're saying now, so it's like your guy might get banned anyway if he's really that good. So
Right.
I personally think we're at the end all. We have the best Pokemon game before us in Sword and Shield with the full DLC. In my opinion, this is it. So the DLC is an 8.5. I do think the game is in total is probably about a 9.8 overall now with all the DLC. It is absolutely just amazing, quintessential. That being said, there are going to be people, they are missing out on something. And I do think that something is still not in it. I don't know why, but it's just still not quite there. You know what I mean? They didn't like add too much
Yeah.
to the game to be like, by the way, we put in this thing you all missed. And it's like, none of
Yeah.
that has really been alleviated yet.
I kind of think that's kind of where Pokemon's gonna be though from now
I
on.
think this is capping. I think,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that. I
It's
think
grown
that
so much, and there's what, like a
grown so
thousand
much.
fucking Pokemon, and
It's like
like
1,100 now. It's
yeah. So
crazy. Yeah.
so to expect everything to be in every single Pokemon game going forward is a lot to ask. They have to
Yeah.
do individual animations for 1100
Everything.
fucking Pokemon. Like, come on, man. That
Can you
is
imagine how long it takes to make one fucking
yeah.
Articuno do every single thing and react to everything? And like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
annoying as
nightmare.
fuck. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Like it's crazy. So I would say, yeah, it's enough. But for some reason, people aren't gonna agree with that. But maybe they will. I don't know, really. And
Yeah.
it feels pretty great to me. I definitely think this is the quintessential. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Nice. Well,
Yeah,
I'm excited to get back into it. It's been a
yeah,
while since I played, and I noticed it dropped this week, so I hopped
yes,
in and played a very little bit,
yeah,
just enough to like whet my appetite. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to get back in there.
As a
Cool,
one
man.
real quick thing, as a competitive player, just to get it out of the way, it's really a great time to jump into the competitive scene right now because I couldn't even tell you who top dogs are because of how much this DLC actually does mix it up. We're getting a lot of old favorites, people like Pokemon that thought like were broken back in the day are now injected into the new meta, and people that were shitty are now being made good. Legendaries are being injected in legally. So there's like a lot going on right now that if you are a new competitive player, it's a great time to try and dip your toe into that because it's really just like anyone's game right now. Like, I got my ass kicked with my OG team yesterday because I was like, I'll see how good the last, like, it's like at the beginning of the last meta's team was crap, disgusting, and two of them are banned. So it's like, just like, could not keep up with the current meta on level one. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I got to redesign exactly how I play this game now, which is cool that an old game can do that. Anyway, that's my piece.
Cool. I like it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very
But of
much
course,
for the
of
review
course,
there. Let's
you
get
give
rid of
me
the
three
background
hours to do
gameplay.
a review, and I'll come through.
There you go. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of the week. Here's the topic. Game mechanic deep dive series, weapon and item durability. Okay, so we were talking about this
Breath of the Wild.
in my Discord in the podcast Discord this week. It came up again because it comes up pretty often, and yes, Breath of the Wild was involved. But what
Yeah.
are the pros and cons of weapon durability systems in
Ah,
games? Some games to consider would obviously be Breath of the Wild,
yeah.
certain shooters, Dark Souls, Way of the Samurai, Monster Hunter, Fire Emblem, Dying Light. These just to name a few. All of these have
Don't starve
different
together.
say. Oh,
Don't starve together.
Don't Starve Together. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another good example. So all of these have kind of differing weapon durability um mechanics, and do you think that that is something that can be a good quality in a game? Do you think it's a bad quality? What are the pros and cons here?
I really think it's overall a bad quality in general, but in the right game, it can be a very good quality. Like overall, having your weapons break, and we're talking about weapons specifically. So you're killing something, you're attacking in some way. So, like in an aggressive game, to have the thing that you need to kill an opponent with break constantly is just infuriating. Like, there's no good way, there's no happiness ever when your weapon breaks. You're not like, yay, I get to use the next one. Why? It's like always annoying. But I will say, when it is good, not Breath of the Wild, when it is good, it is normally a survival game. And so a survival game like this doesn't use durability, but I'm just going to use it as an example just because it's kind of fits my mind better. But like a game like Resident Evil would have been a good game to have durability in, because it's like a game where you have to like use your resources very carefully. I don't know why I didn't use a real game that uses real durability. Let's start together. There you go. I just don't play that game. So, but like in my assumption, it would be a game where you have to, make your resources very, they're very needed. You can't just make a shit ton of stuff and expect it to break all the time. So it's more like a survival game. Your crafting and your resources are more precious. As opposed to Breath of the Wild, you're constantly getting swords and shit, and you're just like, oh, cool, it broke. Oh, cool, next one broke. Oh, I really like that one broke. Oh, I'm not even want to use this one because I know it's going to break. Well, I only have something weak, so I got to use it. Now it broke. And it's like, can you even get through a whole fight without one sword breaking?
Dude,
like,
I can't get through a fight without a sword breaking in Breath of the Wild. It's the worst.
God forbid you hit someone's shield and they blocked. That just takes half of its health off. Like literally, like there's terrible.
For me, like cons, obviously what you're saying, I 100% agree. I think the con would be you have a weapon and you're in the middle of a fight and you lose that weapon and then you're screwed. You got to go to the next weapon. In a game like Breath of the Wild, you might go through 3 or 4 fucking weapons in a single battle with a single
the test
creature.
Of strength, the ultimate test of strength, dude. Like 10 weapons. Get out of here with that bullshit.
So that's obviously a con. Pros, for me, again, hard to come up with pros, personally. But I will say, like the example you gave in like a survival type game, the pro would be it gives you more of a feeling of realism, a feeling that you're surviving, that you have to consider.
Feeling is important. Yeah, it's the feeling. Yeah.
So, and while I don't necessarily think that that in this particular game, RPD, thank you so much for the sub, my dude. Really appreciate it.
Whoa, you're rich, bro.
Yeah. So in Way of the Samurai, which has my personal favorite weapon durability system in it. I don't think it's necessary to have it. I think the game would play fine without it. But I will say that for a weapon durability system, I think it's implemented the best. And how that works is this. Number one, like the loot system in the game, you can get just about anyone's weapon in the game. Literally any character's weapon, even like, the main bad guys or the main good guys, you can kill them and get their weapon, which is rad. But what we'll have is like little bars that go across the bottom of your screen that are your durability. So I think like the minimum durability is obviously 1 bar, and I think the max is like 5 or 6. And how it works is this: like as you attack and defend, you'll see your meter going down, and if it gets all the way down, you lose 1 bar, right? So if I start out with a 5 durability sword and I let that meter get all the way down, it'll go down to 4 durability. And then I'll just have to fight more conservatively while I'm in that battle to avoid completely breaking my sword, breaking it all the way down. Now, the nice thing about that is I can, after a fight, number one, not even after the fight, during the fight, if I'm playing intelligently, I'm not going to lose any durability, right? Because I can see what's happening with my sword in real time. Like I'm not like guessing when the thing's going to break, right? Yeah. So if I need to step back and make some space to let that durability rebuild, then I can, right? But if I do end up losing durability, I can go to the blacksmith and get it back. I can go have my
I can't
sword
believe
repaired.
that's not in breath. It's like,
You know?
if you're gonna have weapon durability, at least have a way to repair your fucking weapons.
Yeah.
Like that just sounds smart.
Yeah.
Continue.
And then, and then again, like if you do you break a sword completely or a weapon completely in that game, you're able to carry 3 other weapons with you while you're playing. There's also items that you can carry that will restore durability in real time. So like I can carry a sharpening kit with me in the game, and if my sword, loses some durability, I can use my sharpening kit to restore that durability while I'm actively engaging with opponents. So it's not going to like, be the end of the world if I lose a little bit of durability on my sword.
It doesn't make you scared to use it.
Right, exactly. So you still have to play conservatively and intelligently, just, not, like live in fear of losing all your best weapons.
Yeah.
Hey,
what'd you say, Colin?
Well, I just think that if it's a game mechanic, the whole point of a game is to have fun and be creative and to be smart about it and to feel like you have some level of control over how things go down, and like that each fight you would go into if you had weapon durability in a very clever way, where they just sprinkle in Breath of the Wild, for instance, they sprinkle out bad guys all throughout, and it's just like,
yeah.
But that would work with no weapon durability, where you just want to go around just hacking and slashing away. But like in games like Don't Starve Together, where I think weapon durability works really well, you don't pick fights, unless you're really ready for it. And then you get multiple swords ready to go, and you make sure that you have enough hits in to kill this person. And you might think more clever ways to actually attack this person rather than just wailing on them,
Yeah.
That to me, and that to me is fun. That's fun because I get a plan, like part of the fun is the planning aspect and the being ready for the fight aspect, rather than just stumbling upon, a bunch of, creatures.
Just chop them up. Yeah.
Here we go. I'm just gonna fight these guys real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a cool way that Breath, just the tangent slightly, a cool way that Breath could have avoided this, like Colin kind of triggered this in my mind, is if certain weapons were like graded. So like a level 1 weapon can kill level 1 enemies, no problem, without breaking. And as soon as you fight a level 2 enemy, it runs the risk of breaking.
Yeah, that's actually...
So like that. And so you get level 10, can kill anyone under level 10, no problem, no breaking. As soon as you fight a Lionel or whatever, now it starts to use its durability. Like there's tons of ways to avoid it. But like Colin said, it should be a fun aspect. It should be like, okay, we only have this much durability. It's just like saying we only have this much magic, guys. It's like when WoW was like a clan thing. It's like, what do we do, guys? We have to go in, plan it. We have this much resources. And like, that's part of the fun. And when it's not fun, and it's just like, I don't know when this is going to break. There's no way to know. Why is my branch break faster than my scimitar? Like whatever.
Right.
Like all this random shit. That's like not true, but it's pretty close. But it's like all this random shit just takes away from the fun. And it's like, sure, just don't toss weapon durability in. And then you have one weapon. It's like the legendary weapon and it still breaks, but it's like a godsend that it heals itself. It's like, you're just making us beg ridiculous. For a blacksmith. Or
punishing the player for playing the game the way it's intended to be played is a joke.
It's like your sword will break. Even if you use the master sword and you're like, cool, I finally got the master sword. Chop, chop, chop. Your master sword will break. It's insane. And then you have to use for 10 minutes of real time in game, unpaused, maybe paused, but you have to use any other weapon. And so you're in the middle of a fight and your master sword breaks. It's cool that it doesn't break during boss fights because like the Ganon light makes it indestructible. But aside from that,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, you didn't know that. I didn't know that until my last playthrough, and it apparently goes up to 60 power and becomes like super glowy, and it does not break against any of the 4 bosses or against Ganon himself. That's pretty cool. Aside from that, I don't know, a way to heal it. There's obviously lots of ways to heal it. Like just fucking take it out of the game altogether. But like, yeah.
So would you consider shooters as far as like ammo conservation to be a form of weapon durability?
I would say in a way they are, but the way shooters are,
you can always get more ammo.
You can always get more. And this is why Resident Evil is kind of like, again, going to come to my mind, is because that's a game where you at least have a way to like chop in some way, or you have a way to like, throw a grenade or whatever, or you probably conserved in a way that you saw this fight coming. And you're like, I'm going to run low. If I do run low, I have this option. There's obstacles that I can use. I can use the landscape to like, fight with me and stuff like that, like set a fire on something. But like, yeah, and Breath of the Wild and other games, it's just, or sorry, not Breath of the Wild. I kept going back to that. But then there are other shooting games where, like in Doom, you don't even ever worry about getting low because you're expending resources rapidly and you're using them to kill, and the kill gives you a refill immediately. And so that's how most shooters operate. Really, only Last of Us and Resident Evil series is the only ones that really come to mind as ones where the weapon itself is like durable and it's again so planned out, and you know what you're getting yourself into. That's not like, this is no fun. I shot and now I'm out of bullets. Like no one told me this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Adam brings up a good point in the, or just another good example of weapon durability in the chat here. Shining Force. There's magical weapons that you can get that if you use them in battle instead of just attacking an opponent, it'll cast a spell, right? And those have durability. If you cast the spell too many times all willy-nilly, it'll break the weapon and then it's gone forever. But
like
again, it gives you the opportunity to use it wisely and to conserve it, because what will happen is after a few uses, if you're paying attention, it'll tell you when that weapon has developed cracks on it. And if the weapon has developed cracks after that battle, you don't want to use the weapon again. You don't want to use the magic on the weapon again. After that battle, you go back to the weapons shop and repair that weapon. And you'll be able to go back into battle and use it again until it cracks again.
Here's
but
what
if
I
you,
just don't,
yeah.
I was like, here's what I don't get about a game like Breath of the Wild, where there's literally like arrow salesmen and like everything in a world like this, except for someone who fucking fixes a weapon. Like that doesn't make any sense. You think weapons can only be found on enemies? Where do they even get them from? Like that doesn't even make any sense. I don't know. But like, again, like you're saying, the smartest way to fix something like this is like, don't punish them for playing and like saying your sword is now broken. Say your sword is going to lose integrity if you continue to use it in such a manner. Like switch to another weapon or use a spell or an arrow.
Dark Souls, once you lose,
I never broke a weapon in Dark Souls.
I never did either. I played.
I tried.
Hours.
I slammed against the wall for 30 minutes straight.
So tell me how because I've never noticed the weapon durability system in Dark Souls.
I use the same sword the whole game.
Once you,
how does it work?
Break your sword, you can get it repaired, and then it'll actually start working properly again. Like it like loses its edge, so to speak, when you have weapon break.
So you can still use it. It just doesn't do as much damage.
Exactly. Like why would you use it at that point? Like you should use it, not because the game is just taken away from you. So it's like,
it's smart. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I've never broken a sword. That's just how I understand how it works.
I've never broken a sword.
What
I
about
put 100 hours in that game?
What about Monster Hunter? I have played Monster Hunter, but again, I've never noticed the weapon durability. I hear it has a really good weapon durability system.
This seems like another game where you're getting enhanced so much that it's kind of hard to tell. So you're just constantly upgrading your weapons, right? So it's like hard to tell when it works.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know enough about it. I have played. Like I played a good bit of Monster Hunter World, but I never noticed the durability system, and I probably didn't play enough to continue. So your sharpness is your durability, says Chamali. Okay, so again, it's just like, is it something that you can repair? Can you go and have your weapon sharpened and then it's fine again? Okay, there you go. That's how you do it. Like that's how a game should do weapon durability.
Yeah. I agree. That's just great.
Yeah.
And it's like it could be different for each one. Like your gun runs out of bullets, your sword loses the sharpness, your bow runs out of arrows. It's like, why does it have to be more punishing than that? Why do you have to run out of arrows and your bow break? Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't get that. It's made out of sticks. Just tighten it, bro. It's got a like rope. Just tighten the rope. Like, be real. If you're gonna be that real about it, at least be real about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me give you an example. I have a bow that I made out of PVC. And I've used it a bunch of times, and sometimes it just sits in my closet strung, which if anyone knows anything about archery, with bows made out of like natural materials, you do not want to leave your bow strung, and that's a good way to ruin your bow. But this is, and again, this is PVC, so it's not natural materials, but it's been strung and it just sits there in the closet, and I get it out every now and then and mess around with it, and I've never broken it. Like I could shoot it all day,
That's awesome,
and not break it.
The thing, like, why does Link's bow break? He's a perfect marksman.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, we do really beat the horse with Breath of the Wild. I just hope that like the
Zelda
reason we
wrestling.
do is because we're all very passionate about Zelda,
This is
and
Paper
I'm
Mario
just
again.
like, I'm really, really hoping that Breath 2 at
Yeah.
least makes an improvement on it. I hear that it's still going to be a part of the game, but please, God, improve that system to something akin to
Please.
any of the things that we mentioned tonight.
Anything.
You know?
I think the simplest thing, and just do it because it's so simple. Nintendo, just don't even think about it. Put magic in the game and just let you heal your fucking weapons. Just heal anything, including yourself. Heal, and you touch a weapon, it heals it. Okay, you touch yourself, you get hearts back. Okay, anything. And I don't even care. Just put magic in the game. Make weapons real. I'm tired of it, Zelda. We've told you every day. Like, come on. Like, how many times have we told you? Are you
Yeah.
listening?
For
Are
the
you even
developers,
listening?
like, let me just watch some random Twitch streamers.
Oh,
Oh my
shit, it's 7
god!
o'clock. It's 7 o'clock Central, guys. We gotta go. Miyamoto's like, yes. What do we need to learn today?
That's hilarious. I would shit myself if me and
I
Mo
would shit
watched our
myself.
channel. Speaking of which, actually, let's move on to the next
Am I
topic.
here? Oh
No.
He's here.
He's the new
No,
host.
so
Sorry.
this was a community suggestion, but I think it and we do these pretty often. We used to do them more. A lot of times we don't have time for them. But I do like to focus on these, and especially if it's a good one like this. And this was submitted by RPD. So Puuba, Puuba, the people who made Metronomicon, they just recently have released, but also half canceled the follow-up game, which is called the Choreographist. I like that the best. So basically, they consider the game canceled, but they did release what they had finished to the public, which is most of the game except for the soundtrack, which I would imagine is important in this game.
Yeah.
And a lot of its art assets, most of its art assets, and that's free on itch.io. Now, that's with the caveat that they want to continue working on it if possible, but they need a new publisher. If you'd like to see more about the game, check it out at itch.io. Again, the game's called The Choreographist. But they're basically reaching out to the community, reaching out to people to help them finish the game. So if you know anyone, or if you know, are interested in that game continuing or ever being finished, you know, that's something that it's always a bummer when like something that has a lot of potential gets canceled. And this was pretty much because of COVID. Like
Yeah.
they were doing it and COVID happened and they just couldn't keep it up.
Yeah.
And you know, that's kind of a bummer. So
For me, the saddest time they ever did that was when, remember Dampy? You know who Dampy is, Colin? He was this huge developer in the Zelda days when modding was kind of up and coming, and he was going to turn Ocarina of Time into a 2D top down, like Link to the Past. And he, like, no one knows what happened to him, and the rumor was he died, like in the middle of development. And that's not true. We think it's not true though. It's like the community's like he just left because it was so much pressure. But that's the one that got away from me. So finish games, people.
Yeah, finish games. Help
Just
people
root to your
finish
fans
games.
because I care.
Yeah,
That's how I felt about A Hat in Time. I never thought that game was coming out. I mean, me and Colin we were living together. We were talking about A Hat in Time being like the big game, and it took like 4 years to finally come out. It's so worth it.
It was.
It is such. We need to play that again too.
I hear that game's really good. I haven't
The
played.
game is. Oh, it's up to 50 player co-op. Let's get
Whoa.
it.
Yeah, let's do
it's
that.
up to 50 player co-op.
49, not 48, but
Not 48, but 50. And we watched a video of it once, just like everyone's just going all over the place.
Oh, you know what? I do have one other topic that we could talk about. Actually, real quick before we move off that, RPD has a clarification on this. It was not Puuba who lost faith due to COVID. It was the publisher they had at that point.
Makes sense.
So anyway, moving on. Nintendo this week announced another limited game. And I thought this was strange because they did this with Mario, right? And Mario 35 and so on and so forth, you know, for the 35th anniversary. Well, they're re-releasing the original
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, thank you. They're re-releasing the original Fire Emblem this winter, and it's coming to the Switch, and there's a bunch of improvements. I thought it was strange that they didn't just put it on the
The
Nintendo
store.
Online. Yeah.
So it is worth noting, just quick sidebar, this is the first time it will be released on American property. It was never released on the NES. It was only released on the Famicom. So
Right.
this is kind of a big deal. That being said, they're still charging $50 for like a collector's edition because it's the 35-year
For the collector's
anniversary.
edition. For the regular digital edition, it's only like $6.
I think it's $6.
Yeah.
But
I
The
already
Legend of
pre-ordered
Zelda,
it.
I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. Zelda is free and Zelda 2 is free.
The
and
special edition looks rad too, to be fair.
Yeah.
By the way, it comes with like a replica cartridge and like a
Yes.
whole bunch of other cool things like art
But also
books
it's
and things like that.
physical. It's also a physical
Yeah, it's
cartridge.
physical, yeah.
Which I actually do respect a lot. And
Yeah.
I almost contemplating waiting for just a regular physical cartridge a la carte. But then it's like, why get that and not the whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. It
But
is a lot more
the
money.
strange thing about it is like why are they doing this? Why are they doing this limited? You know,
Yeah,
like
always
are they
think
gonna do
That stuff though. Where they
Nintendo used to do this a lot, but more in disguise. They would do like the best example is Master Quest and the collector's edition for Zelda. If you reserved Wind Waker, you just got Master Quest
Right.
straight up. You got an actual game.
Yeah, I
And
have it.
you could
Yeah.
not, you could not buy this retail. And of course,
Yeah.
years later, you can now buy it online. But Nintendo does this thing where like, and the collector's edition was like a mail-in for Nintendo Power, I want to say. You like register your points on Nintendo and your consoles or whatever, so they can like basically do a census on all the players, and then they give you a game. So it's like Nintendo used to do all these limited drops and limited things, but now they're being very much more upfront and to the general public about it, where
Mhm.
they're like, we're dropping these Mario Sketchers. Not even kidding.
Yeah.
J. Cole worked on these. This is real. And you know, like they're just like these are released. These are these are gonna be a limited drop, and we're making while we're at it. People are gonna do this with games. We're making a Game and Watch. Remember that from '81? We're doing that. Fuck it,
Yeah.
you can only get it for 4 minutes. Like it's really like they're gonna.
But
do
what do you
this
think
because-
about that? Like, do you think that this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Are you indifferent? Like, do you wish
I
that
think
Nintendo
that-
would just be like, hey,
Yeah.
here's this game everyone's wanted forever in English, and you can only get it for a limited time. Like, is that okay? Or like,
I
why
think-
can't we always have it?
Yeah, I think it does miss the mark to not charge for Fire Emblem in American, because it's the first time we'll ever have owned this kind of game or this actual game in English, the actual like English, and it's like in quality of life enhancements I've heard too, like how Link's Awakening was.
Yeah, it's got like
enhanced.
save states and
Save states and
rewind
stuff.
and things like that, which is
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
I would say it would be a miss financially as a marketing decision to just put it on the NES store. I think that they would probably, a lot of people wouldn't notice it as much if they just dropped a news article on the Switch like they do. Like, this game is here. Like they very much so can charge for it. And this is probably the first time they're going to charge for stuff like that could be on the store, while they're already charging online memberships and going to prove that they can do this for a lot more games.
Yeah.
So like this is
wait,
gonna happen.
they already have proved that they can do this for more games though, because the virtual console, you know?
Yeah,
like,
you're right. Yeah.
I would want one or the other, right? If you're gonna do the store or the Switch Online thing with the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, that's great. You know, people who pay for the service get those for free included. Like, that's awesome. Do that with all the games, or let us buy the games and keep them forever.
Yes.
You know, like
I just realized as soon as the service ends, are we going to be not have this anymore?
well, it's not part of the service, so
That's what I'm saying. When the Switch moves on to the next console and it's no longer being upheld server wise, pretend we don't have anything in the future.
right.
Is the NES and the Super Nintendo game going to game thing even be available to play?
You would have to assume, unless they do some other iteration of that, which they probably will.
Yeah.
But like,
And then you have to assume that it actually does make sense to charge for a game then, so that people who don't have the subscription get this game. And also, if for some reason the subscription thing changes, I don't see it happening in the lifetime of the Switch, but say 20 years down the road, you pick up your Switch and dust it off, and there's no more online subscriptions for the Switch, so you don't have the store, but your Fire Emblem is downloaded safely here, and you can still play that. So that's the thing. So I see it both ways. Give us all or give us nothing. That being said, if I did have to pay for these individually, I would have to buy Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 when it comes out, and all these other fun games when they're actually just given to me and I'm kind of just cool with waiting for the rest of them. I don't know.
RPD brought up Nintendo's satellite or Satellaview thing, which was
oh my god, the Satellaview thing, the jobber.
super obscure, like online thing. I think for the Super Nintendo.
This was
which there's an exclusive. There's an exclusive Zelda game on that.
So for everyone who doesn't know what this is, it was the Nintendo. I think it was. Is it called Satellaview? I could have sworn it was like the Nintendo broadcast console, or like it had the
Something
word
like
broadcast in it. Literally, you'd get like I don't even know how any of this shit worked back then. But you get like an announcement. It was all dial up. Like, stay tuned for the Legend of Zelda and the Stones of Agony. The Stones. It was something like that. But like, and you'd play like this clip, and you'd have like this time slot, and everyone would play on this broadcasting system. And then, like, when the time slot was done, you wouldn't play it. It was literally a time-released, time-sensitive launch where, like, you and all your friends across the world who all play this game are playing at the exact same time. These games can now be downloaded mod-wise, but, like, that wasn't even, like, physical. It was, like, so much crazy. Zelda, Wand of Gamelon. Got it, Josh. No, Wand of Gamelon is actually for the CDI. So Faces of Evil, Wand of Gamelon, and Zelda's Adventure are the CDI games.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Stones. Anyway, keep telling you. But Nintendo, it was literally a broadcasting thing where you'd be like, at 12 p.m. on Saturday, tune in. Oh, I missed it. Guess you're not playing the entire game. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That's crazy.
That's wild. Well, that's pretty much all we got for the week, you guys. Once again, for those of you who weren't here when we started, Colino is leaving us, sadly, at the end of the year. And so we were thinking about a replacement. We have someone in mind, but we were open to other people as well. So we'll be talking to some people. And
Ancient Stone Tablets. Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. Ancient Stone Tablets.
That's just all the Ancient Stone Tablets.
And yeah, we're sad to see him go, but we're happy that he's gonna be, doing other things that he enjoys doing and pursuing things that he wants to do. So
you will,
and
still
like I
see
said,
him on our streams. Yeah.
He'll make cameos in our streams and do some behind the scenes stuff and whatever. But yeah. Anyway, so we thought everyone should know that. And then make sure you guys join the Discord if you have not. If you want to audition for being the co-host,
I don't know. They might be a conflict of interest being like relatives. I don't know how that would work.
And then here's where you can find our podcast. And hey, I don't like to be like the YouTube whore or whatever. But guys. Please share our content. Get us like if you enjoy watching us, share it with the world.
Tell everyone else. We had a pretty good viewer base today. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
So and we really appreciate you guys and everything you do and everyone being here. But yeah, share that experience.
Should we say hit us up if they are interested in being a host?
Absolutely hit us up.
I would say if you are taking it seriously, and you would want to do that. Also, I would say we would all probably have to video chat to do like something like that, because I would want to know how we all sound together. For me, that's a very important thing, is to know how we would all sound together. Mm-hmm. So I know that's weird, but
banter and whatnot.
I would say go directly to Paul for that, because I'm, probably going to sleep on it.
Yeah. Go ahead and DM me or tweet me or whatever. Speaking of which, you can find me. You're on my channel right now for Twitch, Ryugami-san. I'm also on Twitter at Ryugami-sama, and I stream. I try to stream twice during the week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, though it's been a little spotty lately. I will try and get more consistent about that. I always stream on Saturdays. We do Samurai Saturdays. I didn't this weekend because I was camping, but that was, I'm more consistent about Saturdays. And then we have the podcast here on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
And that's where you can find me. Josh, where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me at Lord Yeshua and Lord Yeshua TTV on all of my other platforms, but Lord Yeshua on Twitch, retro gaming, really all over the place now. I don't have a schedule, and I hope I'm not calling, but it does. No. The podcast definitely happening, but streaming, it's hard for me to guarantee. You will see most of my streams will probably be co-op streams with Colin. We're going to be doing Banjo Tooie. I'm just going to go ahead and say Colin literally runs a mod server where we have access to all these amazing retro games, and we will be playing Banjo Tooie online co-op, most likely tomorrow, if not Tuesday. And I'm really excited about that. And you will see us playing that. Aside from that, I don't even know what I'm probably some Doom 64 sounds really good.
And
yeah.
You can find Colin walking off into the sunset at the end of the year
With the
never to be seen
Incredible
again.
Hulk, with the Incredible Hulk
The
song.
Incredible Hulk song playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin, if anyone wants to reach out to you for any reason whatsoever.
This twitch.tv/4Gs.
There you go.
Although, and I haven't really been on there much.
He is going to be doing more YouTube stuff, though, allegedly. So,
We'll see.
That's really where you shine anyway.
I think so, too. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Is there someone we can raid right now? Is Faye streaming? Or
Probably Faye. Do we even follow other people on this channel? Just kidding.
We do, but
I'm sure she'll audition.
I'm
right?
bad at... Dude, I'm so bad at raiding. We could talk to Faye about it. I think she did an awesome job on the stream. I don't know that she'd be interested though. So
I think she's probably busier than
she
us,
is busier,
so-
than you.
which is funny.
All right, everyone have an awesome night. Go hang out with Faye. We'll see you guys next week. Good night.
Bye.
Nah, he'll be here. All right, bye.